All right, let's dive into this, the real story behind how a stubborn farmer, a law student with a chip on her shoulder, and a whole community took down one of the slickest HOA cons you've ever heard of. And yeah, it all started the day the HOA showed up at my door claiming they owned the very ground my great-grandfather carved out of the Illinois wilderness, a place I'd spent my whole life fighting to protect. You want a hook? Try waking up one morning to find the president of your local HOA standing in your barn, red blazer shining like a warning light and announcing, "This land belongs to us now." Yeah, that happened. But let me tell you how it ended, because you're not going to see this coming. I was standing in the old barn, the kind built with nails hammered by men who didn't know the meaning of easy, holding the original land deed dated 1890. Sunlight spilled through the slats, lighting up that dusty concrete floor where I'd just finished checking the digital irrigation system, an old world clashing with the new. Outside, 500 acres of corn moved like waves, the first piece of a $2 million gamble to turn Lake Ranch into the best damn organic farm in the Midwest. And everyone from my ex-wife to the neighbors who never waved thought I'd lost my mind for leaving a six-figure desk job to chase this. But it made sense to me. Hell, it was the only thing that did, especially after my father's dying words. Keep the land feeding this community. I'd burned through every last dollar, every drop of sweat just to make good on that promise. So when the engines showed up, Mercedes, two black SUVs, Karen in front with her shark smile and a leather briefcase, I knew trouble had found me. She waltzed up 6 men and tow workers unloading tripods and survey gear like they were the new sheriffs in town. "We've legally purchased this 500-acre tract for $15 million, Karen said, voice flat as winter ice. She whipped out paperwork with seals and stamps, a transfer agreement dated exactly 2 months after my dad died with his name signed at the bottom, except it wasn't quite right. The T was off sharp and hurried. My father couldn't even hold a pen by then. "You're trespassing," Karen said, smile never touching her eyes. "You've got 72 hours to clear out." I wanted to laugh, except the men behind her were already snapping photos of my barn, my equipment, my house. It felt like strangers going through your drawers. And outside, a massive yellow sign now blocked my driveway: Crownstone Meadows Luxury Community, starting at $1, $850K, rubber stamped by the state. They'd come ready to bulldoze my entire life. She clicked her briefcase shut, judge, jury, executioner, and left me standing in that barn, dreams and all. I looked down at that old deed hand shaking and decided if Karen thought she could steal what 4 generations built, she'd picked the wrong family. First thing I did was call my daughter Anna at law school. She's stubborn, sharper than her mother, and never could resist a fight. "Dad, I'm in the middle of finals," she groaned, but by sunset she was home, her Civic packed with law books and laptops. We spread every document out on the old oak table, real deed, Karen's stack of lies. Anna's laptop already buzzing. Tell me everything, she said, fingers flying. She compared signatures, pulled up property records, drilled through HOA bylaws. "Look at this," she said, showing me the signatures side by side. "This is forgery, Dad. Whoever did this was slick, but not slick enough." While Anna was deep in digital forensics, I started digging into Karen herself. Turns out Karen Blackstone wasn't always Karen. She was Victoria Blackwood, a real estate agent stripped of her license for fraud. She'd rolled into Pine Valley, changed her name, and got herself elected HOA president. Her whole sustainable development routine was a smokescreen for a land grab. That night we drove in to see Bob Mitchell, old family friend, steady as bedrock. Bob told us Karen had tried to buy him out, got icy when he refused. Then he slid over a photo he'd snapped, Karen passing a USB and a folder to a slick-looking guy at Riverside Diner. Anna reverse searched the man, Marcus Thornfield, CEO of Crownstone Developers, a company with a history of, let's say, questionable land deals across the Midwest. The deeper Anna dug, the uglier it got. Karen had rewritten the HOA bylaws after moving in, giving herself control over any unused land within 5 miles. She'd built the perfect legal trap, lying in wait for a chance to pounce. It wasn't just me, this was industrial-scale fraud primed for a payday. By morning, workers were hammering in chain-link fencing topped with razor wire around my property. My own front gate was locked, guarded by a private security guy, Jake, a former Pine Valley cop. "Sorry, sir, you can't enter," he said, holding a court order. I'd never seen threatening me with arrest if I so much as stepped inside. That afternoon, Karen staged a town hall meeting, dazzling the crowd with pie-in-the-sky projections about jobs, prosperity, property values. Anna was in the back, recording every word, fact-checking on the fly. Turns out Karen's environmental reports didn't even exist. Next came the bank. First National called in my $300,000 $1,000 loan, citing legal uncertainty. Karen had managed to twist every screw possible. But just as I started feeling that chill of real fear, help arrived in the form of Margaret Sullivan, a retired land rights attorney sharp as a tack and tough as nails. "This is textbook fraud," she said, and offered to help pro bono. She and Anna got to work picking apart Karen's documents. The ink on the supposed signature was a color that didn't even exist until a year after my dad died. Then we discovered the kicker. The community development trust that supposedly owned my land, registered 2 days before my dad signed it away, and the person who registered it, Victoria Blackwood. Karen had laid the trap herself. Word was spreading thanks to Anna's social media counterattack. Her TikTok account, Truth About Lake Ranch, exploded videos of the real farm, our story proof of forgery. Suddenly, the whole state was watching. Margaret found Karen's real rap sheet. She'd done time in California for this exact con, scamming elderly farmers, forging deeds, selling land to big developers before the owners even knew. She'd just swapped coasts, changed her name, and started fresh in Illinois. The real twist, Tom Rogers, a former Crownstone employee, reached out. He had evidence. We met him at a bridge in the dark, and what he told us nearly floored me. This wasn't about housing at all. There was a massive lithium deposit under Lake Ranch worth billions. Crownstone needed exactly our acreage for the mining permit. If Karen got my land, they could sign an $800 million contract with Tesla. Tom handed us a USB full of emails, contracts, maps. Anna cross-referenced digital signatures, same fake notary stamp on land grabs all over the county. Suddenly things got scary. Black sedans started tailing us. Anonymous texts warned Anna to drop the case or else. Margaret said, "We have enough for court, but we need to be surgical. One slip and they'll walk with everything." That's when we found the golden ticket buried in the Crownstone contract section, 47B. If fraud was found, all rights transferred to the injured party. Community support erupted after Anna's TikToks. We hosted a rally. Hundreds came, farmers and families who finally saw what was at stake. Even old-timers who'd backed Karen switched sides. When Karen showed up at the next meeting surrounded by Chicago lawyers, Anna calmly exposed every fake signature, every dead resident who signed her petitions. Karen lost her cool, threatened to have me arrested, but you could see it. She was unraveling. Court day looked like a movie, cameras everywhere, big city attorneys strutting like they owned the place. Karen's side looked unbeatable with slick presentations and stamped documents. But then Anna stepped up, just 22, facing down a 6-person legal team, and broke down the forged signatures, the chemical evidence, the fraudulent ink, and the digital trail. When Tom took the stand and dropped the lithium bombshell, the room went silent. Then Jerry, the zoning expert, proved my land was still protected by agricultural law, untouchable by any housing or mining project. Anna dropped the final hammer. Section 47B gave us all development rights if fraud was proven, and it had been in spades. The judge slammed the gavel. Lake Ranch was ours. Every contract of Karen's was void. And thanks to her own hasty paperwork, I now legally owned her $1 million mansion. Karen was hauled out in cuffs. Her last words, "Marcus will never let this stand." Maybe not, but that's a problem for another day. 3 months later, Pine Valley was transformed. Karen got 12 years in federal prison. Marcus was arrested trying to flee the country, and our case exposed a $2 billion land scam. Anna's TikTok hit 3.7 million followers, and she turned down Harvard to help build our new community agricultural co-op, employing 52 local families, pulling in nearly 5 million in organic sales. Margaret set up her own firm in Karen's old house, now helping other towns fight back. Tom became our technical director, and even the university set up a research station bringing new life to the valley. And Karen, she spends her days tending tomatoes in the prison garden, finally learning the real value of the land she tried to steal. Sometimes justice comes full circle, you know what I mean? If you've ever felt powerless against big money, let this be your sign. It's not over till it's over. Comment below. Have you ever faced off against corporate bullies or crooked HOAs? What does justice look like to you? Hit that like if you think ordinary people can still win. And hey, stick around because the next time somebody tries to steal a legacy, you better believe we'll have the receipts.